Let's talk more about this story with governance expert Dr. Sam Koma. Dr. Koma, thank you so much for joining us. These are daunting figures when we're looking at these figures that have been collected since November 2021, revealing that KZN's leading killing is assassinations.
Yes, thank you, Masa, for the opportunity. So we need to locate this phenomena of political killings in KwaZulu-Natal in particular in proper context and perspective. So we know that in 2018, there was a Moerane commission that was tasked by the then Premier to investigate this phenomena, and the commission arrived at a conclusion and recommendations. One of the recommendations was that there should be proper political deployment of these members drawn from political parties into government positions, either at the level of a speaker or a mayor or any of the political positions, informed by qualifications, skills, and also experience. The Commission further recommended that political parties, in the main, must undertake political education of their members as part of onboarding or political induction, focusing on peaceful ways and means of resolving political conflicts and also in fighting. It's been 5 years since the release of the Moerane Commission's report, and we do not see much improvement in terms of arresting this particular situation, because it's quite disturbing. In addition to this Moerane Commission's report, we also have the Human Sciences Research Council study, the HSRC study, that also investigated this problem and arrived at the same observations, conclusions. So the issue of political killings is in the country, and especially in KwaZulu-Natal, will not be resolved through the hosting of an indaba or a summit, but the problem will be resolved through ensuring that there is full implementation of the recommendations that are packaged in the Moerane Commission, in addition to, of course, the role that it needs to be executed by criminal justice institutions, of course, in the main South African Police Service, the Hawks. But we know that there is a task team in KwaZulu-Natal that is dedicated to unravel this particular problem. But also, we should also take into account that politics has now become a career for self-enrichment for some, of course, and while for others it remains a career for public service. Because if you look at a historical evolution of the job of a municipal councillor, is that historically, councillors then regarded council job as civic duty. And that is the reason councillors then were paid a sitting allowance per council meeting. But then in 2000, a new dispensation was introduced that one looked at enticing perks and salaries for councillors. Accompanying this is the issue of political influence. Councillors now have influence over procurement issues and also issues related to appointments of officials. So now you have people that have now moved from rags to riches because they've discovered that the easy way out for one to make a living is through politics. In the main, of course, one becoming a municipal councillor. Because remember, the bar has been set very low for people to enter into municipal politics. But it is encouraging that some political parties are now actioning some of the recommendations of the Moerane Commission, in the main, of course, looking at the issue of considering the deployment of public representatives that possess some level of education, skill, and also experience. So it remains to be seen how this implementation of this requirement, especially for the ANC, I know they are now putting that as a requirement, will to some extent resolve this particular phenomenon.
Now, Dr. Koma, you make a statement here that politics has become a career and it's easy to go from rags to riches in this domain. And Salga has also raised the concern of depoliticization of municipalities as one of the key areas to focus on to enhance the professionalism of municipalities. And that's why they were championing the amendments to the Systems Act, which sought to not allow municipal workers to also hold political positions. Do you think, should that be implemented at some point, then at least we'll be heading in towards the right direction as opposed to over-diagnosing the problem 5 years post the Moerano Commission?
Yes, you are right, Martha. We know that in November this year, the Labour Court ruled in favor of some that took up the legislation on judicial review because their concern is around the total ban of municipal employees in terms of holding political office. Now, the Labour Court has reasoned that there cannot be a total ban on all municipal employees. The only limitation should apply to senior municipal officials. By virtue of the position they hold, they have influence over decision making, as opposed to those who are in the lower ranks of a municipality, junior employees in this regard. Now, we know that, of course, the Labour Court has ruled that this provision is constitutionally invalid, and also it has ruled that there should be a consideration by the Constitutional Court in terms of confirming this constitutional invalidity. But we know that in our law, a High Court order that invalidates an act of Parliament has no force unless it is confirmed by the Constitutional Court. So in this instance, municipalities cannot sit back and wait for the Constitutional Court to make a confirmation of this order. It means that it is incumbent upon these municipalities to proceed to action the provisions of the Municipal Systems Amendment Act as it pertains to Section 71B by ensuring that those municipal officials who were given until the 30th of October 2023 to make a decision whether to vacate their political office in a political party or remain as municipal officials should be implemented. Failing which, disciplinary action should be undertaken by these municipalities against these said municipal officials who breach this provision of the legislation. So it's an attempt, you're right, Masa, to professionalize and also, as they refer to, depoliticize the political component of the municipality and also the municipal administration. So the jury is still out whether the full implementation of this legislation, a noble legislation, I must say, will take us to the right direction in terms of ensuring that municipalities become professionalized, become responsive, and also addresses the concerns, the demands and expectations of local communities.
Do you think added voices will bolster this message? Because we've seen SAMWU take a strong stance on this. And are the two bodies, when you look at SAMWU and Salga, likely to come with some sort of an agreement on the issue of disallowing municipal employees from holding public office?
Yes, you're right, so there are two contested views and perspectives from Salga and also SAMWU. But the good thing is that, and also that's what the Labour Court judge arrived at, to say no. Initially, this legislation, specifically Section 71, initially it was Section 56A, was meant to bar senior municipal officials from holding political office as part of addressing this issue of political paralysis that is caused by municipal officials who hold a political office in a political party at the same time wearing the hat of being a municipal official. So the Labour Court says that was the right way to impose this limitation by confining it to senior municipal employees as opposed to totally banning all the municipal staff. So this is where SAMWU has a point to say, no, why extend the limitation to clerks, the cleaners, the gardeners, the low-level municipal official who does not have any decision-making power, let alone influence in a municipality. But then, as I said earlier, Masa, this Labour Court does not prohibit municipalities from proceeding to implement this particular provision that is packaged in the legislation until such time, of course, the Labour Court arrives at a decision to confirm the invalidity of this provision.
And while we are trying to depoliticize municipalities, the audit outcomes are another sticking point. I mean, Salga has pointed out that for every 80 cents that is spent in that municipality as well, particularly in eThekwini, that is going to money that is being spent on clean or unqualified audits, rather.
Yes, so, I mean, part of the audit outcomes, the report that is tabled by the Auditor General, the good thing is that municipalities are expected to develop a post-audit action plan that details how they are going to ensure that they remedy the situation. Of course, if they did not achieve a clean audit, the very same findings that have been generated by the Auditor General. So what we need to see going forward is this full implementation of this audit action plan that is put in place by these municipalities, and also, of course, it has to be bounced with the municipal council, agreeing on what would be the consequences in the event the municipality fails to fully implement what is in the audit action plan. But interestingly is that if you read the Salga KZN statement, it now says this section 139 interventions where the province takes over the affairs of a municipality which has been engulfed with mismanagement, operational challenges, issues around maladministration. Salga KZN says we have not seen tangible positive results, and it therefore means that this section 139 interventions are not yielding the desired results for our municipalities, because all of them that are placed under section 139 interventions have not delivered a clean audit. So it means that it is incumbent upon the provincial COGTA to focus more on capacity building of municipalities. And there is dedicated grant that is dispersed by the national COGTA department to provincial departments of COGTA to ensure that section 154 of the Constitution, which of course has to do with the issue of capacity building for municipalities, is fully implemented. So this should be the focus, as opposed to taking this decision of intervening and also taking over the affairs of a municipality without, of course, having provided full capacity in domains of financial management, human resource management, procurement management, and other key facets of running a municipality.
So basically what we need is implementation. Thank you so much, Dr. Koma, for your insights. That was governance expert, Dr. Sam Koma.